Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRFBets race of the day for Sunday, February the 24th. Race number 9 at Sunland Park. It is the local prep for the Sunland Derby. It's the Mind That Bird Derby. You can bet the race. It's a nice card at Sunland with several stakes races with a new DRFBets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com. Immediately double your action. Bet 100, get 100. Let's meet the field of 3-year-olds getting set to step a mile and a 16th. You can access free formulator pass performances for the Mind That Bird Derby on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, Mick Awesome, already multiple stakes placed and easily outran his almost 60-to-1 odds in his most recent start. Not really a surprise considering the dam was a 5-time stakes winning router and Mick Awesome is a half to a stakes winning turf horse named American Frolic. That being said, he had an easy lead in that race and I'm not sure that's coming on Saturday.
No, it looks like there's a considerable amount of early speed signed on in here. I agree with you. I mean, you look at it, 2 turns is what this horse is supposed to want. I thought he ran fine in the grand scheme of things. Nitrous might be a decent horse that won that race. I kind of look at that and I say, I don't know how good or what the ceiling is for this horse. How much better can he run given the circumstances? You said it. He had an easy lead and he still couldn't hang on. I think there are a couple of decent horses in here. It just makes me wonder how much I really want this horse at a middling price.
He draws a cozy inside post position. I don't think he will make the lead in this spot. Perhaps he can sit third and work out a decent trip. He's going to have to improve a little bit, but that's what he's been doing recently on the Beyer scale. The number 2, Thunderous Applause, earned a 71 Beyer speed figure 2 starts back, but he did that in gate-to-wire fashion. Now, he drew a bad post position in the Riley Allison Derby, and he had to work very hard to get into a forward position, and that might have taken its toll. He is a half-brother to a grade 2 placed sprinter. Thunderous Applause has proven it around 2 turns, but again, on the lead, and I think coming from off the pace, it might be a different story for this horse.
Yeah, from a running style standpoint, I think he's up against it a little, but I will say I would imagine you get a forward move here second off the bench because that was the first start in about a month and a half. So perhaps you needed that one, and like you say, just the circumstances didn't work for this one. Second time out, maybe you get that forward move, you get closer to that 71, but boy, running style wise, and then also from a talent standpoint, I do wonder about him.
Matt, I liked Walker Stalker's maiden win last time out. They stretched him out in start number 2, a quarter of a mile. He pressed a pretty solid pace. He kept right on going in a professional fashion, and distance wasn't supposed to be a problem. His sire, Stroll, was a good middle distance turf horse. The dam was a stakes winner on turf going 1 mile and 1/8. And I think Walker Stalker might work out a nice mid-pack trip here. He just has to improve from a Beyer standpoint.
Yeah, the question now becomes, is he this good? Is he ready to take a step forward here in his 3rd lifetime start? First time going against winners, that's never easy. And then also from a trip standpoint, you're right, he did. He pressed a pretty honest pace. Timeform had the interior splits color-coded red. But again, to me, there is a difference between doing that and then doing it against some of these other horses, particularly the Asmussen horse.
Walker Stalker found the wire just ahead of Passamonte Man in that maiden race, but the maiden Passamonte Man is here in the Mind That Bird Derby and is eligible to improve with his first race with blinkers. The dam was a 3-time stakes winning sprinter, and this horse is going to need a fast pace against this kind of competition and is certainly going to need a little bit of improvement.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I do think the blinkers going on is interesting. And again, from a running style standpoint, even in the sprint race, this horse came from way off of it. I think if this pace unfolds the way I think it could, I don't know that he's good enough to win, but I think he could get a little bit of a minor award here at what's probably going to be larger than that 15-to-1 morning line. If you're playing any exotics, I think I'd use him underneath.
Let's throw up that Timeform US pace projector for this race. We're expecting a fast pace, and the number 5 Hustle Up is expected to set the pace. And this New Mexico bred is pretty remarkable. He's 7 of 9 already. He's 3 for 3 at Sunland. Now, all of those races have come against fellow New Mexico breds, but he really hasn't done anything wrong around 2 turns. It's just those stakes wins came with really light Beyer speed figures, and if he has to go fast against this field, he could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, this is a tough kind of call for me on a horse like this, simply because, I don't want to sit here and knock a horse that's 7 for 9 lifetime. All he does is go out and win races. But at the end of the day, the company that you've done it against is certainly less than what you're going to face here on Sunday afternoon. The pace situation, I understand Timeform US has this horse by himself on that fast pace. There are going to be other horses breathing down his neck. And then at the end, we talk about it. This game is about value. He's 3-1 on the morning line. To me, that would be an absolutely terrible bet on a horse like this, given all the things going against him. Can he outrun sort of what it looks like on paper? Perhaps. Again, he's a winner, but at the same time, I just don't know that I'd want anything close to 3-1.
But he has been able to run interior fast fractions according to Timeform US in the past and keep on going, and it appears that he's been resurgent since being stretched out around 2 turns. If you don't like the pressers, Hustle Up might turn into the stretch with a fairly sizable advantage. The number 6 is iCloud. This horse was 53-1 in the Riley Allison Derby. Just really didn't do too much running that day. I'm kind of surprised he's only 8-1 on the morning line here.
Yeah, I was going to say, and to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that the connections are coming right back into a spot like this, simply because there wasn't a heck of a lot of running that went on that day. And now, again, you've got some fresh faces. You've got some more talented runners in here. 8-1, I agree with you. That's just way, way too short. He's going to be at least double that, I'd imagine.
Perhaps the most intriguing runner in the race is the 7, One Flew South. This horse is stretching out off a 6-furlong synthetic win at Turfway Park, where he won in gate-to-wire fashion. He is stretching out. I think he can apply a little bit more pace pressure to the 5 Hustle Up than Timeform US believes. This dam was a multiple stakes winning sprinter. She won on synthetic and dirt, but being by Giants Causeway, I guess he can get the mile in a 16th. I just don't like the idea of chasing a quality speed, having to reel that one in, and then hold off the closers, all in only start number 2 and first time going long.
Yeah, first time off of a bit of a layoff. I haven't seen him since the end of November. Now, look, to me, though, he is kind of the key to this race, where if you don't like the Asmussen horse, who we'll talk about here in a moment, and you're not sold on anyone else, he, to me, is the only real fresh face in here that I could make a case for and say, you know what, he's unexposed, he's 1-for-1, he's run relatively fast as opposed to the rest of his company. And again, from a pedigree standpoint, mile and an 8th, or a mile and 16th, shouldn't be too much to ask, I don't think. But again, it boils down to ultimately price, and I think he might be the second choice.
You mentioned Steve Asmussen. He trains the morning line favorite, the number 8, Wicked Indeed. Asmussen won this race last year with one of your favorites, Re-Ride, and this horse just seems to tick all the boxes, doesn't he, Matt? 84 Beyer speed figure last time out in the Grade 3 Lecomte, a race that was validated when War of Will, one of the top 3-year-olds in the country, came right back to win the Risen Star with a 92 Beyer speed figure. This horse is a full brother to Just Wicked, a graded stakes winner, a full brother to My Miss Lily, a graded stakes winner going long on the dirt, and he's going to get some pace to attack. Again, he ticks all the boxes, save price.
You know, the interesting thing here is I don't know in the grand scheme of things how good he is as far as the 3-year-old landscape is concerned, but in a race like this, he has the Beyers, he has the Timeform ratings, he has the running style as well. I think he's going to be able to sit a few lengths off the pace, let everybody go out there, do what they need to do, and then come with that run rounding the far turn. You got Louise Contreras. Keep in mind, Contreras rode that horse that's 7 for 9 lifetime in the most recent start. He comes here. Again, in the overall landscape, I don't know that he's a superstar, but in this race, he is strictly the horse to beat.
Collusionist completes the field. This is a Colorado bred who might show a little bit of speed as he stretches out for the first time. He placed in a race at Arapahoe Park 2 starts back, a little stakes race, but only with a 39 Beyer speed figure. Plain speaking, listen, he's a little too slow on paper.
Yeah, I was going to say, just being frank about it, he's just slow.
Let's take a look at our top pick for the Mind That Bird Derby. We'll see if Wicked Indeed can get over the hump around 2 turns. Remember, his only lifetime victory came as a rallying sprinter. One of his full siblings, Just Wicked, was an early sprinter, but I just think, as you mentioned, he's got the figs going for him. He's got the pace scenario, and I thought he ran an inoffensive race in the Lecomte last time out. He saved ground, he came out, he finished evenly, certainly wasn't embarrassed. If he runs that race, he wins.
I mean, he's getting significant class relief. Say what you will about the horses down at the fairgrounds. They're much better than what he's going to face here in this race on Sunday. And I think there's a case to be made. You brought up the morning line in a couple of these instances. I'd be very surprised if you got 9 to 5. I think he's going to be much shorter than that. But if you do, I mean, again, just strictly from a numbers standpoint, that's a giant overlay.
Give me numbers.
8754.
8175 for me in the Mind That Bird Derby, your Sunday race of the day. I want to remind everybody to play the Sunland card with a DRFBets account. Double your action right away on sign up with DRFBets. Ready, set, bet. Approximate post time for the Mind That Bird Derby, 4:18 Mountain. Best of luck.